Welcome back to Mournful Walrus. I'm your host, Stephen Weathers, and this is Gaming News. Today we're having a look at XO. I have no idea if there's a better way to pronounce that, but that's what I'm going off. A retro sci-fi strategy game for PC, Mac, and Linux. I have a memory of recording this before, but I have no idea what happened to that. So, here we are. It's got 10 days to go. It just made it over, it's $3,000 over its goal, so it's solid. It looks really cool. Let's have a look at the trailer real quick. So it's kind of a 2D real-time strategy space game, which is interesting because usually space games are more three-dimensionally traversable, but this one just goes for the 2D traveling through space in a semi-linear kind of fashion. But it also takes away one of the more annoying aspects of space games, of trying to relearn how to navigate in three-dimensional space. Like, you either get it or you don't, as far as I've noticed. The graphics are fantastic. It's kind of like, I like to think of it as kind of like FTL meets Tron, kinda, except in a slightly more 3D visual kind of way. But yeah, that was the trailer. Link to the, if there's an HD trailer, link to the HD trailer here this entire time anyhow, but I haven't checked. So this is Jump Drive Studios. They're based in Portland, Oregon. They are, to the best of my knowledge, just a small indie developer company thing. Seeing as there's only 10 days left and they already reached their goal, they hit 4 of their 5 stretch goals already. And these are the weird little ones where it's you gotta complete the different mission-y things. So like the followers and YouTube views and some interesting ones. Like I have no idea what Thunderclap is. And I'm surprised there's a cosplay one. So for the unlocked stretch goals already, we have scout ships, additional factions, new ship and weapon, remixable music stems from Jim Guthrie? No, Guthrie. Yeah. For all backers, so that's cool. And then the next one up is explosives, kind of in the self-destructive ships, booby-trapped kind of things. Yeah, so it's complete the mission-y things to, I think the closest ones we got are the followers, the YouTube subscribers. I mean, if you can make this hit the front page, that's just done, straight up. Whatever Thunderclap is, and the fan art are the easiest ones to go for, I think. But I think it says we need 25 missions. Oh, what are we at? Is there a total on here? Oh, we're at 20, so yeah, 5 more. So 1, 2, 3, 4... Alright, 5. Yeah, bingo bongo. And that would give you the suicide booby trap ship things. And here are the various links to this stuff. So to the YouTube, to the shares, to the likes, to the... You are the captain of the last remaining battleship in the fleet. A relentless, overwhelming enemy has emerged to abduct your people. There's no time to colonize planets, negotiate with alien races, or build an empire. You're outnumbered, outgunned, and low on resources. Knowing when it's time to fight or flee will be the key to saving the human race. I really should have read this over earlier. Commanding your fleet and managing resources is only part of your job. You'll also need to lead a variety of personalities as you will gather and protect a flock of civilian ships. You will choose to elect under your council. Who you choose to elect under your council will affect the entire fleet and alter... I just woke up, guys, I'm sorry. And alter the options available to you. Your leadership will either inspire loyalty and sacrifice, or drive your people to treachery and sabotage. So, they say it's inspired by such works as Battlestar Galactica and the Lost Fleet series, and games like FTL, I guess mostly based off of FTL. Strategy game will test your skills as a leader in times of great need. So it is a real-time strategy, but like in FTL, you can pause to kind of plan out what you want to do, and then hit play, and it'll play out the actions that you've strategized. I mean, pretty basic stuff right there. Single-player game with Newtonian physics. So when you're navigating space, you gotta watch out for gravity of like black holes, I'm assuming, stars and suns and planets. So I think that's really cool. I've always liked games with Newtonian physics, like what is that game called? I'm gonna do a video of it later at some point. It's Solar. I want to say it's Solar, where your goal it's basically it's like what the hell is that? You know that game that everyone's been playing with the bubbles? It's like it's just a browser game and it's really basic and you're just bubbles eating smaller bubbles, getting bigger. I can't think of the fucking name. Ariago? I don't know. It's like that, except with like black holes that you have to. I really should have thought this out better. Newtonian physics governs starship movements in a 2D plane. My tea's still too hot. The game unfolds in real time, but you can pause the action and issue commands, like I was saying. Most of the gameplay is procedurally generated, including events, weapons, starships, and personalities. These roguelike elements ensure EXO will be replayable and unique in each session. Emerge from the jump space near a planet where you will begin rescuing ships, gathering resources, and defending against ever stronger waves of enemies until you judge it time to evacuate the fleet. Choose the next planet to jump to based on limited intel, taking into account the resources you need. Report to enemy strength and refugees at each possible destination. Spin up the fleet's jump drives and lead your able ships to the temporary safety of jump space. In jump space, use your resources to upgrade ships and manufacture weapons and make crucial repairs. Also kind of like an FTL. Continue this cycle until you amass enough firepower to defeat the enemy mothership and escape with as many people as possible. The enemies, they're red. There's actually a lot of design to the little pixel ships. Like, you can't really tell in the GIFs, but I feel like in full screen, when actually playing the game, you can see a little more of the detail. But they've got a lot of definition, it seems, from the schematics that these guys have. Triage. You won't be able to save everyone. As fleet commander, it's your job to make the call. Do you save the damaged military destroyer and add more firepower to your fleet? The tanker that will extend the fleet's range? Or rescue a freighter load with enough food to keep your people alive? Choose wisely. And then there are different procedurally generated events that can happen whenever you jump into an area. Much like FTL. There's a lot of FTL influence in this, obviously. The combat and weapons, mostly laser-shaped colors, but you know, they all have their own different strengths and stuff like that. A movement and flanking and formations. You get to formate your fleet into whatever formation you'd like to formate them. You fly ships on a 2D plane, but realistic physics like inertia and thrust keep tactical action realistic and intense. So you have to remember to slow down before you fly past your goal, which is, I think, a fairly good thing to keep in mind. Betrayal and political treachery. This is where it gets interesting. Under the strains of battle, some will crack under pressure, while others will rise to greatness. Each situation requires thoughtful leadership. Demands, urgent calls for help, and interesting opportunities will present themselves, often at your most trying moments. You must decide what is best. Do you resign that annoying complainer to damage control, throw them in the brig, or abandon them to their own fate? Do you risk the safety of your fleet to pursue a sudden opportunity? Do you want the banditos to get the stuff? Yeah. But yeah, the sympathizer will try to convince ships to surrender. The politician will seek to undermine your authority and break away with as many ships as possible. Treachery. Mutiny. With your support, we can even add more dramatic scenarios. Mutiny and civilians. There's actually a lot of, like, political story stuff in this, it looks like, which is exciting. And yeah, you get to choose who your council is. So based off of these ships that you do collect and stuff like that, you know, most ships have captains, and depending on that type of ship, they would have a different kind of captain. presidents, and different crap like that. You know, different political stuff, which you'll have to work with and possibly against, depending. Your goal is to escape and get a bigger fleet until you think you're big enough to take on the big bad. Resources. This is different. Air, water, food, fuel, and raw materials. Fuel, easiest to find, used for basically everything from weapons to drives to repairs. Raw materials, which can be grabbed from asteroids or planets or other ships, can be used for repairs and upgrades. Food lasts a while, hard to find. Air runs out the fastest, so it doesn't last very long, but it's easy to find. And then fuel is easiest to find, but whatever. There's a lot of different kinds of planets, which have their own materials and, I'm guessing, story events, probably. It's made by these guys. We got Brian, Justin, Dominic, Corey, Brian 2, The Revenge, Jim, and Skew Sound, comprised of former Harmonix and ex-Microsoft designers. And Harmonix are the guys who did, like, Fantasia the Game, Chariot, Rock Band. I mean, that's pretty swaggity, right? We'll have a look at the pledges. $10 gets the game. It doesn't... I mean, I don't think this has been updated to say Steam, but it's on Steam. It got greenlit a while ago. So... $10 for the game, $15 for beta access and your name in the credits, $20 is the 25 tier early. You get the digital soundtrack with the XO protocol guide and PDF format, and also the game and blah blah blah. $35 is the 39 early, in-game battleship variant, and everything else. So if you want the fancy ship or whatever. $49, you get to name a character, ship, or planet, and y'all get everything else. $75 gets you alpha access and the developer polls, so you can help vote on things. Digital copy of the game, naming credits, digital soundtrack, protocol guide, and ship variant, and name a character, ship, or planet. No physical rewards. You get to play it before anyone else because you get super duper alpha access. The 89 is the 110 early. Alpha access, alpha flight patch. Get a physical protocol guide, sticker sheet, signed transmission. I have no idea what that's gonna look like, but that sounds cool, and everything else. At $149, you get a shirt and everything else. At $229, you get a 3D printed battleship and everything else. That, but probably a little bit cleaner, and that's cool. I hope they make it so the green is like a glow-in-the-dark thing. I think that'd be really cool. $700. You get to write an in-game event and get the ship and everything else. At $1,500, you can build your own starship. Jump drive games for life. So you get every game that these guys end up making until you die. And also you get the $700 here, which is everything, including the writing an in-game event and yada yada yada. Oh, there's more, Jesus. Oh, this one's gone. For $5,000, you get to pick the default name for the battleship. And you get to build your own starship and get all of the games these guys put out for life. And you get to write the in-game event and everything else. But that one's already been taken, which is intense. Someone knew what they wanted. I hope it gets named Dick Butt. No, I don't. That'd be stupid. So yeah, this has been XO. I think that's about it. I don't think they've necessarily released any music yet. Yeah, so check it out on Kickstarter. You've got 10 days, which means it ends on the 19th at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time because they're based in Oregon of United States of America. I've been your host, Stephen Weathers. This is Gaming News until I change the title. The game is XO. Jump Drive Studios, 10 days. Basic game is $10 or $15 if you want beta access and your name in the credits. Yeah, if you enjoyed the video, hit the like button. If you didn't, leave a comment saying why. The dislike button isn't very helpful. I didn't like the video. Well, what can I do to make you like the video? You've wandered off already. Alright. If you like this idea of a video, please feel free to hit the subscribe button, and we will fill your inbox full of more videos. Yeah. I've been your host, Weathers. It's Gaming News, Mournful Walrus.